Today we cap off our week-long look at extreme weather. Keith Kocinski has taken us from coast to coast and even inside the eye of a hurricane. Today, he faces off against one of nature's most extreme forces.
It's getting a little windy, guys.
Radar's down, it's not updating.
No, this is a mess.
Race against time.
I was on the hunt for one of weather's greatest mysteries.
Tornadoes are very destructive, although most are short-lived and not deadly. The ones that last longer can wreak havoc with people's lives and their things.
Riding along with students from the Ball State Meteorology Program.
When you told your parents, you said, hey mom, dad, I'm going storm chasing for 12 days, what was their reaction?
First they thought I was nuts. They see all the tornado damage and then they realized, it's what I wanted to do, so they decided to support it.
Every spring, a team like this leaves Muncie, Indiana to spend almost 2 weeks searching for extreme weather. Most of them have never seen a tornado in person, so it was a test of taking what they learned in the class and applying it in the field.
Do you think you'll be scared once we get close to one?
I think I'll have a healthy fear.
Tornadoes can have wind speeds up to 300 miles per hour. They can span miles across, leaving a path of destruction behind them, leveling homes and tossing cars. The United States is the tornado capital of the world, averaging about 1,300 tornadoes each year, many in Tornado Alley, from South Dakota to Texas, where warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, cold, dry air from Canada and the Arctic, and warm, dry air from the Southwest converge. When that air collides in massive storms, scientists think it creates a horizontal spinning effect in the atmosphere. Strong updrafts then tilt the rotating air from horizontal to vertical. It becomes a tornado when the rotating funnel touches the ground. Some scientists say tornado season is starting earlier than ever, and Tornado Alley might be moving, shifting east.
Many of the climate models project that drying will move east. That'll have a huge impact on where we see storms, because storms essentially happen where it rains.
And that's because moisture is the lifeblood of thunderstorms and tornadoes. And as the earth warms, areas that once got a lot of moisture are drying up.
There's not a clear consensus on how climate change will affect tornadoes. We know with warmer temperatures that would probably increase low-level instability, make it easier for air to rise into storms. On the other hand, the upper levels of the atmosphere would probably warm as well, and that may make it harder for the warm air near the ground to rise. Climate change is going to reshuffle the deck in terms of our weather.
Scientists say it's hard to know if or how much climate change is affecting tornadoes. These storms are still a bit of a mystery, and predicting them is nearly impossible. We were already nearing the end of our second day into our hunt, and we still hadn't found our prey.
It's kind of a disappointment, but everything's a learning experience.
Just as we were packing up, something promising showed up on our radars.
We're heading north to hopefully hit a line of storms that looks pretty good for us.
We hit the gas, covering over 100 miles north into Kansas. Then there it was in the distance. The monster we had been chasing.
There it is. We found our first tornado. I am pumped.
While it was a rush to see, luckily this tornado didn't cause any damage. But of course, that's not always the case.
It's important, a goal of science is to understand the world around us and how things work. Tornadoes and flash floods and hurricanes, these all are things that not only are good subjects for movies, but also affect real people.
While tornadoes are awesome to observe from a distance, they're nothing to mess with up close. And this damage here in Delmont, South Dakota is an example of their destructive power.
Here on this farm, cattle were lost, silos were destroyed, and farm equipment was beat up.
Looking at this tornado damage here, how does it make you feel? What goes through your mind?
Just sadness. I'm overwhelmed, I can't imagine going through this at all.
At least 9 people were injured, causing thousands of dollars in damage.
It's very sobering to us as meteorologists to see this, and it's a good reminder of how important our job can be to help protect people.
After 12 days on the road, traveling through 9 states, we never did see another tornado. Our hunt may be over, but these students are still on the chase, learning more about tornadoes, how to better predict them, and hopefully save lives.
I hope that we can, through our efforts and our research and our studies, that we can help so there's no fatalities, there's not as many injuries, help people get out of the way of it.
Keith Kocinski, Channel 1 News.
Wow, what a trip. Well, after 12 intense days on the road, Keith and Demetrius had some pretty epic stories. And you can check out their behind-the-scenes videos and pics over at channel1.com.